What's your structure look like in terms of managing, leading that many people? How does that, like, do you have a leadership team, like at different like departments in your company? I'm always curious as to how that is structured.
Yeah. So Jocko Willink's book, Extreme Ownership, right? The 7-to-1 ratio, 7 employees for one manager. And so that's what we do. So I have a COO, I have a production manager, and below him I have 5 superintendents, and then they have the 13 crews underneath them. I have my sales manager, I have an assistant sales manager now, and I have 9 reps underneath those guys. I have a marketing manager and a gal or 2 underneath her as well. Roofing contractors take shortcuts, and they do not believe or do not want to invest in that middle management. They consider that middle management dead weight. And I use that as a selling point. Quality control is they're going to be a supervisor on your job. A superintendent is nothing more than, they call that the foreman, I guess, in roofing, right? It's just the leader up on the roof. But like, who's coming over to make sure that it's done right? Who's checking up on that crew, right? Who's making sure that the yard is clean and that the homeowners' questions are taken care of? There's a huge language barrier here in Arizona, right? Speaking Spanish compared to English. And so we have 5 supers that are go and do quality control and manage those projects to take care of the crews. And that's been my biggest superpower, I guess, if you want to call it, is having the middle management. It's expensive. I mean, it just is, but it's also another way to close deals because a lot of people don't want to invest in that, and they stay small. They don't want to invest in, and that's another truck, that's another gas card, that's another insurance, that's another, $50, $70, $80,000 a year position. And they don't want to deal with that. But I'm like, dude, but knowing that I can have every single one of my jobs checked on every single day, because we're doing 15 roofs a week, 40 to 50 repairs a week as well. And so that's been kind of our biggest thing there, is making sure that we can maintain that quality control as we're growing and scaling. You have to have that supervision. So.
Oh, 100%, man. We work with so many roofing companies all over the country, and we see that, right? It's the owner, and then it's just 1099 sales guys, outsourced crews. And it's really a fragile business model, and you give up a lot of control. So I love that. No doubt. That's why you have a 4.8 Google rating with 360 reviews. That's awesome, man. That's really cool. I'm sure you're really proud of that. Is that something that you invested in from day one? Is that level of management, or is that something that you added when you got to a certain revenue level?
There's metrics and there's way to measure it as you go. But that was a non-negotiable for me, because that's something that my uncle's company didn't have. But I was the production manager, and so that's what I struggled with, was I wanted that person underneath me, and we don't have the money for it. We can't do it. It's a waste of money. You'll figure it out, or they're fine. If they have any problems, they'll call us. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. So, and what the other part too is, you have to believe in your people and listen to your people when they need help, right? And so after a certain number of hours or energy, their efficiency, their quality, their productivity just tanks. And everything around that tanks, including the crews, the customer service, the quality control, everything around it. So they can only hit X percentage of energy and hours in a week before they feel overwhelmed, the burnout feel, right? It's not that they don't like what they do. It's not that they're not working hard. They just have so much on their plate, they can't do it all. So you have to be able to willing to separate that money and allocate that additional energy and those additional hours to, like I said, a supervisor to run around and dump in the trailers and picking up the materials and doing final inspections, all of that stuff. And you create it all into one. And now your manager likes you, your manager likes you, your manager loves the feeling of it, right? And he feels supported. Now he wants to work even harder. And he feels that, the owner has his back, not just like, hey, you're thrown to the wolves type of feel. And and it comes out of my bottom line at the end of the day, right? Like, it's literally my profit. But dude, scarcity mindset does not exist at Save 48 Roofing. We're going and crank.